Hey, what is going on, everybody, and welcome to the Eternal Speed Meta episode, because that's what today's video is going to be about, since we're still not done talking about this duo. And what I mean by this is, wherever you end up using the Eternals, with the exception of Dark Dimension, it's going to be about who shoots first. And in this case, the ults of Icarus and Cersei, because with all the damage they do, which if you've watched any of my videos recently, you know this absolutely out of this world bonkers. So the goal here is for them to go first, shoot off their ults, and blow the competition away. So I'm going to show you guys about a 1-minute clip of me running through RTA with them and the new speed meta, as I like to call it, and after this we'll talk about that in more detail, about exactly what's going on for those unfamiliar. So without further ado, let's get this show started. Alright, so we're gonna just start things off here with this photo, and this was a photo that I did see on Reddit. It was being passed around a little bit, and so this is kind of what slowly that lower arenas or newer and mid-game arenas are starting to look like, and it's kind of crazy. So these three characters combined, and that's what the intention of this video is to talk about the three characters, Loki, Cable, and Emma Frost, in relation to the Eternals duo, because this is kind of being floating around a lot. So they all have speed bar manipulation, and that's really what's the key. Now, I want to say that it's probably better on the offense, on arena offense, or any version of offense, whether it's RTA, war offense, whatever, than it is on the defense, because I think, realistically, if you had characters like this, and especially in the case of, like, number 2, there's like a level 1 Cable here. Interestingly, all you need is his passive activated to get that. But the point is that, I think it's probably pretty easy to beat. Now, I want to say that I have not seen this myself in my arena meta, but it's just a matter of time until people pick up on this, and maybe people are like, damn, Boilon, you shouldn't have given this away, because now we're going to start to see this more. But it's very compelling. If you saw my 1-minute clip there, I just blew people out of the water because I was able to go first. And this actually counters the fact that a lot of people are already using Emma Frost and Loki to kind of give that speed bar manipulation. Cable gives that one step further. So Cable actually kind of, if you're seeing the Loki and Emma with the two of them, Cable then propels them a little bit further to then win the coin toss. Now, what's going to happen is, of course, we're going to start seeing maybe these 5, and again, it comes back down to a coin toss, so it's going to be 50-50 who goes first, and that's probably going to mean who's going to win. Now, I don't necessarily recommend you to go in with, like, I don't know, tier 5 characters. If you could survive the attack, the initial onslaught or whatever, and Cable could live, that could actually cause, you to get some extra turn bar removal as well. And we're going to talk about their kits, because a lot of people probably are a little bit unfamiliar with Cable, especially for those who, even just build them up just enough to unlock Doc Ock, but don't actually know his kit in his entirety. So I wanted to share this photo with you before we get started. So we're going to move over to my roster page, and we're going to talk about these 5 characters. So we're going to start off by talking with Cable, because like I said, I don't think people are as familiar with him. Now, I do have a 6 red Cable, great for me, so if I do end up building up to like gear tier 14 as part of this, who knows? So the reason why he's included here is mainly because of this. Now, people have used Cable before in other versions of other random teams for speed bar in the past, but largely he's there to give speed bar for X-Force. He's part of the X-Force team, but he has this part. So on spawn, fills speed bar by 5% for self and all allies. Now that 5% is not a lot, but like I said, if you're running into an Eternals team that have both Loki and Emma Frost, then this is what's going to help you get over the line past them and win that sort of speed matchup. So again, I don't know if I'd really put this on the defense though. I think that it's just not, it might not be stable on the defense, and I would have to see how it plays out on the defense. Like I would have to fight something higher up myself. And going back to that other photo that I showed, you know, I don't know if this same thing is going to necessarily crop up when you're talking about 700k, 800k teams, or if this is just a sort of beginners, you know, early game, mid game sort of combo here, because I don't know what it's gonna. I haven't seen any of it yet in my main account, so I'll be looking out for that, you know, and getting in some gameplay footage of that if I can find it. But I have been doing it in RTA, and it's absolutely blowing people out of the water right now because Icarus isn't banned, and I think that's a matter of time. It's just a matter of time before he does get banned in RTA, like Kestrel did, because he's just too insane there. So this is really it. Honestly, he's kind of like a little bit of a one-shot wonder here for this team. You know, the speed bar is the main important part. Nothing else that he really adds, I would say, to that. But his special overload, for those of you who may or may not be familiar with Cable, you know, he does reduce speed bar on the primary target by 50% and adjacent targets by 10%. If he's not charged, it only hits the ones directly adjacent to him, to that target. But if he is charged for whatever reason, usually this is in war, because he starts with charged in war, but not otherwise. So if you're using this combo in war offense, you're gonna go first. And I see this being a meta for beating the Eternals, for those who want to put the Eternals on the war defense. Come in with Cable, come in with Loki and Emma Frost, and then boom, you've kind of beat them in the coin flip, and you'll probably be able to kill them in war. So I see this being a thing going forward. You're just going to have to break up X-Force because you're going to lose Cable. I don't know how many people are using big X-Forces. I'm not. My X-Force is like 300k, I think, combined. So I have no problems pulling Cable out in order to use them in this matchup. Second character I want to talk about is Loki, because he's just the second strongest character, I guess, I have here of the 3. So really why you're using him is for, again, more speed bar, but on spawn, he gets 15% speed bar, but he fills the speed bar of Mystic Controller allies by 10%. So that's typically going to be Cersei. Some people do use this in combination with Cloak. Cloak is also a Mystic Controller, but in this context here, you're really using it to get speed bar for Cersei. And again, it's really just to prop them all up so that they can get their ults off and then reduce everyone else's turn bar, and then it's just a shenanigan fest of all the damage. So that's about it. I mean, they do get, I guess, a 20% extra focus for what it's worth to Cersei, and resistance too. I don't know if they need it or if it even helps. Loki does apply minus 20% resistance to all enemies, but once again, I don't know if they need this. I think the Eternals have really high focus, and I think they get bonus focus for a lot of their attacks already. Where I could see this being a thing would be Cersei's special. I'm not sure for the stun. I'm not sure if she gets bonus focus for that. I don't think she does. Otherwise, I don't know. You know, half these characters might not even survive the initial onslaught. It's really just there for that initial speed bar. So going back to Emma, a lot of us are familiar with Emma, so it's really just down to the passive as well. Minus 10% speed to all enemies. So with the minus 10% speed, the 5% turn bar from Cable, and then the extra 10% turn bar from Loki to Cersei, it really just shoots up how fast that they're going to go, and they're typically going to win that coin flip. Now, and definitely in a mirror match, they're going to win that coin flip. And when it comes to war, though, there might be certain instances where they might not. I was thinking Shadowland. I don't know if Shadowland gets a lot of turn bar at the start. I don't know if that's going to overcome this or not. But yeah, I mean, I don't see this as being a strong war defense setup, or a defense setup at all, because I think there might be ways around this, or you just come in with an Infinity Watch and they might be able to survive that, and then the 3 other characters, you know, aren't really going to do too much and damage wise, and the Infinity Watch probably can beat just the 2 Eternals on their own. So do be careful with this, but offensively, I think this is incredibly strong, and I think this is what people might start using and might show up more often, especially once Icarus gets unlocked free to play through his event that's coming, and it's just absolutely crazy. You know, so Icarus, you've seen these videos. They're just such a crazy duo. Their damage is through the absolute roof, and really it's just coming down to getting you to Icarus's ult, you know, flips everything. So if they have buffs, well, they're effed. But it just does so much damage. So Icarus gets 500% extra focus for this attack. So without a doubt, he's most likely flipping everything. And I don't think there's been a case where I haven't seen it flip. I was thinking of Cersei's ult. So with all this turn bar and Loki giving turn bar to Cersei, typically she's going to go before Icarus, but it doesn't really matter too often, and it really depends, I guess. What's the speed difference? I mean, she has 125. I didn't even look. Icarus has 126. So he's actually faster, but with Loki, it should be propelling Cersei up first. Honestly, I don't even remember from the clip that I just showed. But it doesn't really matter, because the point is to get both of them to their ults. They both reduce speed bar by 25%, so between the two of them, that's a 50% speed bar reduction. There's a very good chance that they can actually get a second turn, because they do get speed up as well through their attacks. It's so crazy. You know, apply speed up for 2 turns to Self and Icarus. So they'll very likely, with all the speed bar reduction from these two ults, from Emma Frost, and possibly Cable Special, if you can get around to that Cersei and Icarus will get a second turn. It's honestly really bonkers, and it's just downhill from there. You saw in the video that most of the time I cleared them outright with just the ults. And that's where we've become. That's where we've gotten to now in this new speed meta for Arena. Now, I have been leveling up some other characters as, you know, not part of the speed meta, but others to go alongside the Eternals if need be. Omega Red, you know, I've been slowly leveling him up. So I don't know if any of these characters are really going to be part of what we end up at the end. What is going to be the final Eternals meta, whether it be for Arena or other game modes. I think we're in a really, really interesting situation, because I think it's absolutely hilarious to think that characters like Cable, like Loki, and even Emma Frost, you know, she's kind of not really in the meta too much anymore, but whether or not I'm going to need to gear any of these characters. Do I want to gear Cable to gear tier 14 to increase his survivability? I would need to bring him up to level 75 at least to get him to that gear tier 14. You know, I'm not too far off, but that might give him the stats to survive a hit, or, you know, even do a little bit more damage, you know, so he's not completely useless. Even though he's there for the speed bar, every little damage might help in that sort of Arena meta, just to make sure that Icarus blows them out of the water. I don't know if I need to do for Loki necessarily, because honestly, I don't know what he can really bring outside of the turn bar. That's really a huge deal. The mind control doesn't do a ton of damage, actually, depending on who you're going up against. So I'm not sure if I really need to. Maybe I bring him up to ISO 4 just for the extra 10% hit points. Maybe that might help a little bit. I don't know. Or just the overall power level might scare people away in Arena. But I just wanted to share this with you really quickly, because I think it is crazy. Try it out for yourself if you can, if they haven't changed it in RTA. And honestly, this is broken. The Eternals have already been broken, but now we're changing the way that this works here with these characters, bringing in, you know, this who shoots first. I'm almost thinking like Han Solo in the Cantina. You know, this is exactly what we're doing, except for with Icarus and Cersei, and whoever gets their ults off first wins. That's what we've come to in this Wild West meta, Arena, wherever, anywhere you can use them. That's what things have become. Let me know in the comments down below what your experience with this has been. When I get some more footage, some more gameplay, when I start seeing this more in my Arena, you know, I'll try and get some attacks on them and see if I can record this and see how my version of the speed meta works. But I wanted to share this with you first and foremost, because boy, we're in for a bumpy ride and a crazy ride, because Eternals, I can't stop talking about the Eternals. Almost every video over the last 4 or 5 days have been about the Eternals, because they've broken the game in some ways. They've broken this game, and we just keep talking about it. So more to come, especially as my baby account unlocks it. I can't even imagine the madness that is going to appear there. I'm already seeing a few Icaruses already, even though he's not available free to play yet. So it's uplifted that meta, especially for new players, because Adam Warlock isn't there in my arena shard to block out and give that safeguard. So Icarus is just destroying everything in its path. So I don't know where this is going to end, but I'll be there along for the ride with you all. So until next time, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you all later. Boilon signing out.